This is James Randi, and you're listening to The Skeptic Zone.
Welcome to The Skeptic Zone, the podcast from Australia for science and reason.
Yes, it's The Skeptic Zone, episode number 136 for the 27th of May. The 27th of May, a date I bet you never thought you'd see because of the rapture last week, which has now been postponed until October. It was raining, apparently, and, things get postponed. 27th of May 2011, Richard Saunders here with you from Sydney, Australia. What an episode we have for you today. We're going to kick off with a trip the Skeptic Zone team made to, yes, Mind Body Wallet. Mind Body Wallet. This is every 6 months here in Sydney. Giant psychic and alternative fair, which is fair game for us, I must say. Very interesting. Lots of insights as we wander around the massive hall at the exhibition centre there in Darling Harbour, right near the centre of town. Lots of strange things going on. And following that, it's a bumper think tank. It was really nice to see the gang the other night at our favourite club down the end of the street, where we had a nice Chinese dinner and a long talk about some of the sceptical issues of the day. Now, a couple of announcements to make. Listen, if you're not a listener to Righteous Indignation, the UK podcast, give it a listen. Give it a listen. Listen to episode number 91. They interview a so-called psychic by the name of Vicky Monroe from the USA. It's a wonderful insight into the thinking of some of these people. She goes on about her work with police, for example. But the icing on the cake is she gives hosts Michael Marshall and Hayley Stevens a reading towards the end. Priceless. If you want to learn anything about the art of cold reading, how to do it, how not to do it, some insights and tips, this is the interview for you. Run along to http://parafort.com/ri or just Google Righteous Indignation. Well done, Marsh and Hayley. Now, something for Sydney-siders. Art meets science. Now, this is a very interesting outing called Culture at Work, and you can find out more at www.cultureatwork.com.au or go to Facebook and look up Culture at Work. This is where artists get together with scientists and come up with all sorts of interesting things. In fact, on the 4th of June, Saturday the 4th of June, they're launching a new venture called Blood on Silk. Ooh, that sounds interesting. Look, if you're interested in art and you're interested in science, as I think many Skeptic Zone listeners are, check it out. Culture at Work on Facebook or www.cultureatwork.com.au, and that's at Piermont here in Sydney. Very interesting stuff. And finally, you may recall a number of weeks ago I played an audio from the Today Tonight program where I appeared putting the boot squarely into the quackery, witchcraft, outdated rubbish of homeopathy. But I'm not biased, am I? And that's up on YouTube, on my YouTube channel, which is Skeptic Zone Podcast. And, I've had word from various sources that homeopaths are not best pleased with this report, which really doesn't mince its words about homeopathy. And they've been writing to Today Tonight to express their dismay and concern about this terribly biased report. Now, there was an expression I think I used on last week's show, which I think sums up the situation. As we say in Australia, sucked in numpties. I love one of them. They said along the lines of, it's up to people like James Randi to prove homeopathy doesn't work. Well, to that I say, again, learn some science. Well, what can I do now? What can I drink? What can I drink? What have I got in the fridge downstairs? It's a bit of a cold night. Hot chocolate. I'm going to run downstairs. I'm going to have a nice big Skeptic's mug of hot chocolate and let you enjoy the Skeptic Zone kicking off with a good old mind, body, wallet. Well, the hall's filling up here in Darling Harbour. We're here for Mind, Body, Wallet once again, reluctantly maybe. Rachel, yes. Yeah, she says. Joe?
Similarly,
And an old friend of mine, Mark. Mark, this is your first Mind, Body, Wallet.
It is.
Yes, you have a glint in your eye which will soon disappear.
I'm sure it will, very quickly.
But it's buzzing, actually. There's people queued up to buy their tickets. The hall looks packed. But yes, here we are again. So we're here so you don't have to be, folks. You don't have to put yourself through this grind. Lucky listeners, sitting back in your car or doing what you're doing at the moment. You don't have to be here in Sydney. But it is the day after Rapture, so we're pretty rapt about that.
yes. Oh, let's just get this over with. Yeah. Hurry up. And then come and find us quivering wrecks in a corner somewhere.
Let's head in. Well, what can I say? We've just entered. It's the same old, same old. We've just passed the Allergy Solutions and Iridology Angel Power, where you can have your guardian angel sketched. And we're at the far end now. What have you found there? What? The health of each human cell is determined by its optimum level of energy. Oh, I always knew it. And, well, now we're diving into the first corridor here. What do we have? Polaris Rising sounds interesting. Pain Relief. Spirit of Crystal. New Generations. It's going to be a fun day. Oh, I can see the stand ahead of Mitchell Coombs, who I remember from the one a couple of years ago. We'll carry on. We are passing the Church of Scientology with their L. Ron Hubbard volcano book, Dianetics. They're here every 6 months, I must say. We've already had 2 arguments, Mark.
Yes. Yes. He tried to tell me that it forms a huge ion. And when I told him what an ion was, he didn't seem to understand what an ion was.
This is a man selling us gel that had been divinely blessed, and then he went on to say that it knocked over cancer. So we were less than pleased with him.
It was anointed by God.
Anointed by God. All right.
It was also given to the guy by God, apparently.
And Nicholas Tesla had something to do with it.
Tesla.
I like
so
Tesla.
As soon as he said Tesla, we all said red flag.
We all laughed when he said that.
What was that all about? What was that acid in the drinking water? She was saying we drink battery acid?
There's a whole range of the alkaline industry. Our bodies are too acidic.
Yeah,
and
they're basically selling water.
They're selling water, but it's alkaline water, Richard.
Yeah.
Alkaline water. Because,
it cleans your colon.
Everything, it cleans your colon. And did you know that all diseases are acidic?
Acidic, that's what she said.
Yep. So drink alkaline water and you'll be cured.
You've got the DVD now, and you know what you're going to watch when you go home.
I know what I'm going to be watching, along with the Homeopathy Plus DVD, which Richard's decided to torture me with.
Another argument, Mark, this time with people selling a service to clean your home of negative energy, I think using water divining, as far as I could tell. And I gave them the Skeptic's card for the $100,000 prize, and
Eran's here.
And they were dismissive, I would think.
Yes, they were very eager to get rid of us once they realised that you were sceptical.
Yes, indeed. And right now we've found ourselves at Allergy Pathway, which do live blood. Oh, Rachel's
Why are
just...
you looking at me? Don't even speak to me right now.
And we move on.
On that note.
And joining us just now, it's Eran. Hi, Eran.
Hello, Richard.
Most of the Skeptic Zone's here today. It's quite fun, isn't it?
Yes.
Well, quite fun in a strange sort of way. Good that you could join us today. And I think you were just mentioning to us that we might walk over there and talk to the Corrective
Chiropractic Australia. Yeah,
and see what they have to say about various issues.
Yes.
That concern us.
Yes.
Greatly. Well, Mark and I just had an interesting talk with people selling Tesla phone radiation blocking devices.
Hang on. Something about Nikola Tesla
and geopathic stresses and all that sort of thing. But we spoke to the guy for about 10 minutes, and Mark, being an electrical engineer, actually put it to him quite reasonably and calmly that what he was suggesting was just physically nonsense, wasn't it?
Unless you're blocking the electricity itself, you're not going to block the magnetic field coming out of the wire.
And after about 10 minutes, I think he actually started to think that maybe we knew what we were talking about.
Well, I think he actually started to consider that he may not actually know what he's talking about. He may not actually... The claims that he's making may not be true.
Interesting result.
It says a lot for his character that he's willing to consider.
Yeah,
because a lot of people would just dismiss it out.
Yeah, we've been shushed away from some stance here, but that guy, at least he was listening.
He was.
So that was something. It's a couple of hours have now slipped by here in Mind Body Wallet. I've actually had a good chat to some people I know, some people who make their living out of performing various psychic services, I guess. And I bumped into a few people. But we just lost half our party, Mark. I think they may be hiding outside. I don't know.
Can't see them outside.
I wouldn't blame them for running away.
About halfway up the aisles as we walk past. So.
But it's crowded. This place, it's as we said before, it's the day after Rapture Day. 22nd, and this place is just absolutely heaving. It's really hard to, in some cases, to make our way through the crowds. And I'll see if I can phone the others in this maze of colour and crystals and woo, as Mark says, and Reiki empowerment to my right and metaphysical mysteries to my left. Jo is just making a comment that she thinks there's a lot less of the really dangerous stuff here this time.
Well, there's still stuff here that I would classify as dangerous and concerning, and a lot of it's sort of, if you take it far enough, it's got potential to be harmful. But in the past, when we've been here, I really get the feeling that there's been a lot more of things like the pendants that claim to be able to turn things into sunscreen, and there's less of it. There's some of it still here, but less of it.
Those exact people are still here?
Yeah, those particular ones, but there's others we've seen here
the water that cures cancer is not here?
Yeah, the alkaline water, the people who claim to be able to cure cancer aren't here.
And where is the homeopathy?
There's no homeopathy, and the guy who claims to be able to cure cancer and HIV, who we always see here.
He was a Russian bloke, wasn't he?
No. He's from California, and he's sort of He's one of those ones who's quite untouchable. He's very crafty in how he positions himself. His address was
some weird address in
California
Las Vegas
or something. There's a lot of stuff that's still pretty worrying. In fact, the one thing we saw now, which I just it really irked me, was there's a stall selling. It's the orgone energy people. And they're selling a couple of things which claim to be able to protect you from electromagnetic radiation, one of which is it literally looks like a plug with a bar of soap stuck onto the back of it. And you're supposed to plug that into your power socket, and it's supposed to protect you from EMI, whatever you call it. And
EMI is a music...
Maynard, are you listening? And then they're also selling these, they're basically stickers, and they've got a little, looks like one of those little patterns you can make with string, those spiral patterns.
Oh, yeah.
And spirograph. And they're claiming that like power balance, it's impregnated with a frequency of negative ions.
Ooh, that reminds me.
Negative ion frequency.
There was 6 months ago, there was a stand here selling a power balance like wristband, and they're not here.
In fact, actually, I think they sell something similar.
That's Quantum XL, is it? Let's sneak around the corner here. I can't say. Yeah, Fusion XL. They're here.
Where was the store that had the plug-in thing with the soap on it?
It's right down the other end. It's called Orgone.
You need a map and a compass here. You really do.
But of course, a few of them are selling them. The ear candles and the foot patch people are selling them as well.
Yeah.
But we asked them about them and we asked them what they do, and of course, they can't even the guy who invented it was there, and he couldn't tell us what it does because, they just sense this. They sense it. That's how they know the frequency is there, because they sense it. And anyway, they're selling stickers for $20 and claiming that it can protect you. Stick it on your phone, on the battery.
Yes.
And it can protect you from radiation.
Now, as we stand here, we are right near the Church of Scientology, and Eran is having his e-meter done. Look, there he is, just over there.
Is he? Oh, yeah. There he is.
Escape. We have escaped. We are outside Mind Body Wallet. Now, before we fled, Eran, you went over and you were teasing those poor people at the Dianetics of Scientology.
No. Let's clarify this. As we walked past them, I said to Eran, "Now, Eran, don't go and tease the Scientologists."
That was a challenge.
Thanks for pointing out the Scientologists, Joe.
What happened?
So, first of all, I told Joe, please take all these bullshit leaflets that I have because I need both hands. It took a while for them to get them to actually want to test me using the e-meter. And I've been tested with the e-meter before. And I control it using my little fingers because they're hidden from you. They can't tell that you're actually moving them, so it's easy to manipulate the needle. But I discovered something very interesting. At a certain point, obviously the needle wasn't doing what it was supposed to do. I wonder why that happened. But she fiddled with the controls a little bit. And then the needle started doing exactly what she wanted it to do, but completely contrary to what I was doing.
Oh.
There is a demo mode in the e-meter.
Oh.
No.
Yes, there is, because what happened was that I was actually letting go of the two cylinders. I was actually letting go. The needle should have gone left. It was actually going sharp to the right.
Good.
Like it basically had. I was having no control over it at all.
Oh, I see. They've gone to the Wakefield school.
Yeah.
Exactly. Data.
So that's something I didn't know about the e-meter, that it had a demo mode. This is what it should look like when you're stressed.
Right.
So that was interesting.
Boo, you're stressed. Woo.
Well, we've done it again. We've actually survived the Mind Body Wallet for yet another 6 months period. It's so nice to step outside. There's a giant Ferris wheel right in front of us here at Darling Harbour. It's just evening now. It's a lovely scene outside compared to the utter devastation of craziness.
Yeah, the light of reason.
The light of reason.
As I think we said earlier, it's actually quite amusing when someone in there tells you, someone from that side of things tells you that they're the sanest person in the place.
So from Mind Body Wallet, thank you, Reggie.
Thank you.
Rian.
Thank you.
Joe.
Thank you,
and
Reggie.
Mark.
Thank you.
We take you now to a conversation being shouted across a hillside.
What? I said I'm trying to come up with a promo for this podcast.
What podcast?
The Geologic Podcast.
What?
The Geologic Podcast.
Oh, Harab's pointless meanderings, sceptical observations, ridiculous musical interludes, and not a hint of geology.
Well,
alright, maybe a little bit of geology, but it's not worth it.
Come on, he's got the religious moron of the week. Geo's mom reads Jay-Z lyrics.
Pointless.
Ask George.
Who cares what the bastard thinks?
Interesting fauna.
Oh, great.
The horoscopes.
Garbage.
Not the Bible.
Boring garbage.
Misinformed science.
Stupid garbage.
The true adventures of the Philadelphia Funk Authority.
Ooh, white Ukrainian boy playing drums in a funk band. Must be fascinating.
What, none of that is appealing?
Not even a wee bit.
Great. Don't tune in then.
I won't.
Fine.
Fine.
Great.
Great.
Fine.
Great.
Great.
You said that already. The Geologic Podcast.
Pointless, but free. GeologyPodcast.com.
Join us now for Drinking Skeptically in the Think Tank.
I wonder if other people around the world have think tanks. If they do, I bet they're not as fun as our think tank. And tonight it is bursting at the seams, ladies and gentlemen. We have Dr. Rachael. Hi, Dr. Rachael.
Hi, Dr. Richard.
Oh, I like that, Dr. Richard. We have Dr. Joe.
Hi, Richard.
We have Dr. Dianne.
Hi, Richard.
Dr. Sheepy.
Nimrod Wiener.
Dr. Drunken Madman.
I'm reporting you to Dr. Carl for taking his trademark.
And Dr. Eran.
Hello, Dr. Richard.
Dr. again, I do like it. Well, listen, we are all charging our glasses and toasting. Toast, toast, toast. Clink.
Toast, toast, toast.
Thank you.
Great water.
Great water. Oh, there's your dinner, Eran. Look at that lovely chicken arriving as we speak. Pork.
Are you having pork?
No, it's not pork, but I do eat pork, yes.
What is that?
Yeah, you didn't look at me.
Thank you.
Is that fish or something?
Did you have pork?
Yeah, it's salt and pepper.
I didn't think you were hitting
Salt and pepper king prawns.
That looks lovely with
And
chili
yes,
on top.
I do eat pork, and no, prawns aren't kosher either. So it doesn't matter.
Listen, we are doubly celebrating tonight because we had a wonderful donation. Thank you, Eric. And Eric, you know who you are, who sent us a little bit of money so we could all have drinks. And we are. Let's toast the health of Eric. To Eric.
Hey.
Yay. Thank you.
L'chaim.
Since having the wrap shop.
And also, I'm toasting, anyway, and I'm sure we all are, because we've just received the news that, and this is from a website called smartcompany.com.au, Australian distributor of power balance wristbands collapses, owner admits he was naive.
Naive.
So Tom O'Dowd, who I met and tested, by the way, on national television,
And told him
it didn't work. It's finally come to the stage where he's out, and he thinks. I should rephrase that. He claims here that the business leaves debts of $800,000. In this statement, he goes on, but he still says. It still says here, O'Dowd still believes the power balance product works. He claims the return rate was just 0.3%, despite the company offering a full refund.
Which proves everything.
Hey, that's proof positive,
What
isn't it?
more evidence would you need?
They're following the logic that if it works, people will keep it and not return it, which that's not true at all. People won't bother going to the processes of returning it. He's still, according to this, more or less blaming the fact he was naive about TGA, Therapeutic Goods Administration.
Richard, you've got to read the next sentence. You've got to read that quote.
Where's that?
For me personally, they could put a gun to my head if they like. I will never stop believing in this.
Uh-huh.
Tom, come round to my house.
That's
go.
What's your new avatar? Challenge accepted or something?
Challenge accepted.
Anyway, folks, power balance in this country are the fizzed out through the hard work of skeptical activism, Choice Magazine. We actually change things. It's incredible. Another toast.
Skeptic Bros, you can now sell your bands at $60.
Yay! Oh, and the dark placebo band for the win.
Yeah. Skeptical activism really does work, doesn't it? I went to Mitre 10 in Marrickville the other day, and they had some knockoff power bands.
Hang on, Mitre 10 are a hardware shop.
Yeah, because you need some power and balance to hold that drill.
What?
Yeah?
You actually need a drill to hold the drill.
Drill to hold the... Well,
anyway, folks, let me quickly go through a few matters that I've brought to the table tonight. I'd like to give a shout-out to all the people who listen to the Skeptic Zone who are visually impaired. And I know we have a lot of listeners out there. Steve Eran is a good friend of ours. He's appeared on the show before, and his lovely guide dog, Casey. but other people who are visually impaired do enjoy listening to the Skeptic Zone, and I'm sure they enjoy listening to many podcasts, and I'm very pleased to know that a percentage of our audience who enjoy this show are visually impaired and do enjoy listening to the show. So to you, I say hello, greetings, and thank you for listening. And what are you laughing at?
Should I mention the predecessor, the Tank Vodcast, at the moment?
Yes. Jason's making a rude comment that the show that was before this one was a video show. This one's audio. You might have noticed.
I have noticed, yes.
Okay. Now,
I was just laughing at watching Jason work himself up to his witty comments.
Joe, it's normally Dianne who goes bright red. And listener Guy Chapman wrote me a very nice email, and he's asked me to give a shout out to the people at Fukushima, the Fukushima 50. There's brave people battling the atomic disaster there.
If you believe some of the media, they're all dead, aren't they?
If you believe some of the media, you'll believe anything, I think. My notes tell me to mention Dr. Rachael at Melbourne.
What? Oh.
Melbourne. Dr. Rachael is going to...
Someone forgot to tell her, obviously.
I think so. This is news to you, Dr. Rachael. Dr. Rachael will be at Melbourne Skeptics in the pub. 27th of June, Mountain View Hotel, which is 70 Bridge Road in Richmond. For more information, if you're in Melbourne and you want to go along and see Dr. Rachael talk, visit melbourneskeptics.com.au.
Yeah, and I'm doing, on the Sunday afternoon, I'm doing Victorian Skeptics, which is 12:30 at La Notte Restaurant, and if you Google that, it's on their blog.
On the 20th, 30th, 20th.
Oh, Melbourne's a popular place.
La Notte. La Notte. I'm sorry, Hunchback of Notre Dame there. Just tell us how to speak French, why don't you? Oh wait, it's Italian.
Anyway, please, if you're in Melbourne, go along. You can see Dr. Rachael in person and get her insights into the recent activities. What, Rachael, the last 12 months, the last 6 months have been off the planet, haven't they?
Well, I'm actually doing 2 different talks. So if you come on Sunday afternoon for lunch, you'll get different information to Monday night. So.
Ooh, there's a teaser.
That's right. Yeah. So it should be fun.
All right. Now
I like Melbourne a lot.
Yeah, Melbourne's really cool. I like the trams. Oh, I am so envious of their public transport system.
You're doing it wrong. You like the bars.
I like the bars. The trams take me to the bars.
Are cool, actually.
But compared to Sydney, Melbourne's public transport system's got it. It's wonderful.
Cards me started.
Joe, I'm going to get you started, actually. So you were telling us before about a strange encounter in your house when you were wrapped only in a towel, but we won't go there. Instead, we'll talk about what topics you've brought to the table tonight.
Well, as usual, I brought a few. So, how about we start with the Westlife Church, who are claiming to be able to cure cancer through their...
Are they the Irish boy band?
No, I'm afraid not.
There's no highlighting, Joe.
No, I left my highlighters at home today. I don't know how I'm going to be able to get to the point.
You'll have to read the whole thing now.
Oh, yes.
So, in the news today, a quote, School of the Supernatural. Dr. H has just handed me a highlighter. I feel competent. Okay.
That's it, the night's over.
So Westlife Church, which, according to this, counts Hillsong Church amongst its evangelical family, is running...
What does that mean?
I'm not quite sure.
Anything they want it to mean.
I'm not quite sure.
They're all happy clappies.
But is running...
I think Hillsong is like the parent church.
Yeah.
The parent church to Westlife?
Yeah.
I think so.
That's right.
Yeah.
Adoptive parent church?
I think Hillsong kind of spawned other churches around the country, and this is one of them.
Bastard child.
Quite a few of them are in Queensland, actually.
I like the choice of the word spawned. It seems a little unholy.
It says Hillsong Church offshoot.
Ah, okay, they were the parent.
Yes. So they're offering a 6-month course, which their website doesn't actually say so quite explicitly, but from interviews with people from the church and so on, they claim to be able to bring the dead back to life.
Yes, but are there any outrageous claims they're making?
Oh, no, none at all. No, sorry.
What's the cancer?
Everybody was just listening at that point, going, yeah,
Well, I'm just wondering how they do it, because wasn't everybody meant to come back to life a couple of days ago?
Well, that's true.
Well, I'm dead. It's like the end of the 6
Maybe
weeks.
Harold Camping hadn't done this course.
Well, no, maybe Harold Camping was right, and maybe it did happen, but maybe Westlife Church unraptured the rapture
through the power of song.
Yeah.
I'm completely unwrapped. Carry on, Joe.
So, so this church is run by a pastor by the name of Bill Johnson, who runs the Bethel Church in California, and he speaks to the students through a series of DVDs. And they claim to be able to heal physical ailments over the internet through the use of Skype. Which reminds me a little bit about the homeopaths, if you're able.
Skype won't work now because Microsoft bought it, so that won't work anymore.
That's right. Homeopathy is doomed because of Microsoft.
Twitter bought TweetDeck today too, so that'll be stuffed soon.
Did they only buy it today?
Well,
I've known about that for a long time now.
Oh, wow. Inside information.
I wanted to, make myself out to be some sort of social media expert or anything.
actually, no, it did happen a long time ago, didn't it? $40 million, wasn't it?
Is that all?
Years ago.
Not years ago.
So there were a couple of things said in this article which really tickled me. One of them was a quote from Mrs. Collette, who is sorry, just cut that for a second. Edit.
It tickled me. They talk about the feathers of angels.
Okay. So, director of the school, Sherilyn Collette, said that some churches in the past have had agendas and have not been real with their congregation, but this one is real.
Of course, it's
like my it's not a fraud.
Yeah, exactly. And I love this one. This is an environment where people can take risks in learning to operate in the supernatural without fear of rejection or failure.
The stunned silence at the table. We're all looking like stunned. Yeah.
In other words,
Are these based in Australia, these people?
They're based in California, or at least this pastor.
In Redding,
pastor
California. Bethel Church.
In California. But this particular church is in Ipswich.
Queensland.
Right.
is that where Pauline came from?
Yes.
Yeah.
The oxymoron.
Yes, the oxymoron.
Because it's also illegal to claim you can cure cancer in Australia.
Now, that's a good point. I wanted to ask somebody about this. Is that a federal law or a state law, or what's...
You see, the problem is, and in fact, I've been watching a story, I was talking to Richard about this earlier, the case which I had covered on the Reality Bites segment a while ago of the Spiritual Healing Association of WA, who are currently who are currently under, they've had action taken against them by the ACCC, and they were claiming to be able to cure people through the same kind of thing with miracle healings and so on. And the justice who was hearing the case, Anthony Siopis, I remember him saying that the problem he felt and the reason he felt that this was going to be difficult to deal with is that how can you take on any situation where the person is saying, I can if you believe. So they're kind of taking the attitude and looking at these cases where the law can't really step in if they're making a claim to cure cancer, but it's based on a belief system. Where religion is behind it, there's very little that can be done. So I'm quite keen to hear what the...
How long until homeopathy becomes a religion?
Yeah.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
It's already a bloody religion.
Well,
so it'll be interesting to hear the outcome of that case because, I mean, at some level this treads along similar lines. They're making claims of being able to cure cancer, but it's really, it's based on belief, on religious belief.
Well, here's a clip of me right now on national television tomorrow talking about this very subject.
Tomorrow?
Clip from the future.
Richard, I'm watching you closely, sitting there with your best skeptic's face on.
I thought you were going to say best skeptic skivvy, but a different face, yeah.
What do you think?
Well, I was trying to think of a word that is beyond skepticism for what I'm appear to be reading here about claims about curing cancer or mending broken bones, and somewhere in the media it even talks about raising the dead. Now, look, we have a lot of fun in the Skeptics. I love chasing ghosts and doing all this sort of stuff, but this is serious. This is This is where all the laughs go away, because there could be people out there who buy this guff and do not see their doctors if they have cancer. And there are cases of people giving up their chemotherapy and their vital treatment and pursuing these dead ends and dying.
Yes, that was me talking tomorrow about this very topic.
Your Doctor Who.
Because we're recording this the night before I'm going on television.
At least 900.
There we go.
Anyhow, so that's the latest from the School of the Supernatural.
Thank you, Joe. Information we needed to know. Eran, you have some information we need to know.
Yes, Ken Harvey, Dr. Ken Harvey, a good friend of the skeptical movement. Ken Harvey has been fighting quackery for a very long time, and he lodged a complaint with the TGA. So Ken lodged a complaint with the Therapeutic Goods Administration against a company called Sense Slim Solution, who offer it's not a diet. It's something you spray into your mouth that's supposed to make you thinner.
I've heard about that. Yeah.
Likely to be quackery. I don't know much about it. The point is that Ken lodged a complaint against them with the TGA, and based on that complaint, they sued him for libel.
Of course.
Now, there's a reason why they sued him for libel. In the evidence that they provided to the court, they cited the complaint itself and an article that was published, I think, in Australian Doctor or something like that. I'm not sure exactly, or Pharmacies Online or some website that somebody else wrote about that complaint, which he didn't participate in, didn't write. So it's got a very small chance of success. But while this is going through the courts, the law in Australia says that the TGA can't investigate the complaint. So basically, it's a delay. It's a delay tactic.
Delaying tactic.
Now, there was supposed to be Ken was supposed to have a day in court on Monday, and his lawyers have asked for the case to be dismissed. I haven't been able to get in touch with Ken today. I tried, but I haven't been able to get in touch with him to find out what the results of that hearing were. But in any case, the answer is unlikely to be a summary dismissal. So the expectation is that the answer would be, even if it is a dismissal, it will be in a few weeks' time. So Ken has already spent about $10,000 on this case, because just to get the case thrown out, that's the cost. So even if nothing else happens, that's about $10,000. And even if he's awarded costs, which is likely to happen if the case is dismissed, he will still be out of pocket. So we at Australian Skeptics decided to do a pledge drive to make sure that Ken is not out of pocket, because nobody should be out of pocket for lodging a complaint against a quack with the TGA.
Yeah.
So there will be an article on our website very soon, but even until that's there, people can write an email to supportken@skeptics.com.au and send their name, their email, of course, phone number, and the amount they're pledging to pay. They don't have to. No payment is required right now, but people should pledge the amount they're willing to pay to support Ken. And if the need arises, we will contact people and ask them to pay when the time comes.
Now, Ken Harvey, of course, does a lot of work behind the scenes fighting quackery, and we wouldn't suggest to you, listener, that you pledge money lightly. In this case, we give Ken our full support. So if you're interested in supporting this man and what he's doing, support Ken at skeptics.com.au.
And I should probably mention that this is particularly important because of what we've seen in the last couple of years in England with the libel laws there. Of course, the libel laws in Australia are not as bad as they are in the UK, but still, a person who voices an opinion or lodges a complaint should not be out of pocket through a libel lawsuit. So we want to support Ken in this. Probably I would say as a message to everybody.
Now, I have another message, and maybe
Jason can help me with this message. We, as listeners know, we were just at the Mind Body Wallet Festival where we had just so much fun. I can't even begin to tell you.
Is that what you call it?
Yes.
Fun. Head desking.
Head desking. We picked up a flyer. Jason, we did, and you were chortling at it. It's on the table.
Chortling's not really the word.
This is a flyer we picked up at the Mind Body Wallet for this very club we are in right now.
And then he prolapsed from humour. It was unbelievable.
Now, for the benefit of our listeners who don't have the magic of the, clear vision or whatever it is, to see what you're looking at. What are you looking at?
I'm looking at, just down here, Dee Richardson. Since a young child, Dee possesses an amazing gift. Will communicate with the audience.
This is a flyer for the Inner West's, which is this part of Sydney, biggest psychic and alternative fair, which is held at this very club with a gaggle of psychics and feng shui and all sorts of things, and people who will communicate with the audience.
In very poor English.
I mean, I'm not psychic, but I can communicate with an audience, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, that's
How would you
debatable.
quite badly? I just get drunk, get a guitar out, have a bit of a song.
Okay.
Communicate with the audience. Done.
Sometimes.
And a kazoo on occasion.
Have you been doing that since a young child?
I have been doing that since a young child.
You should start charging for it. Apparently you can.
Well, there you go.
That actually, I'm sorry, I don't know what made me think of this, but I don't know if anyone's seen this picture doing the rounds of a homeopathic remedy. It's a photo of the box, and it's a homeopathic sleeping tablet, but it's the non-drowsy formula.
What? I saw that yesterday.
What? Sorry.
Yep.
Sorry. I can't cope, Joe. Run that by me again.
It's a homeopathic remedy called something like Calm-Ease or something like that.
Yeah.
And it's a homeopathic sleeping concoction, non-drowsy formula.
I'll tell you what, I hate to be drowsy when I'm asleep.
I know, it's terrible.
But then most homeopathic sleeping remedies contain caffeine anyway.
Yes.
So
Well, technically, they don't actually contain any caffeine.
No.
They might have had some caffeine in their history.
The origin was caffeine.
But that's like saying I've got some kelp
They
in my
remembered
history.
the cup of coffee they drank a while back.
I'm going to need some of those soon when I fly to... Oh, there it is. There it is.
We have the image.
There it is. James has found it for us. Calms Forte Sleep Aid Non-Drowsy Formula. That's ridiculous. I don't believe it. Is that from the Happy...
Sleep Aid Non-Drowsy Formula.
Uh-huh.
That's from the Happy G Head's House of Pancakes blog, yeah?
Yeah, but it's on fail blogs.
Yeah, it's on Facebook.
Sorry, but is it
Brilliant.
I'm just wondering, is it parody or...
No,
Or is it product?
No, it's real.
It's a real product.
It's a big sleep aid, and under it says non-drowsy formula.
Yeah. A big shout out to Happy G Head's House of Pancakes.
Oh,
too.
sorry, but it contains chamomile.
You don't have that drowsy moment before sleep. You just gone.
Homeopathic remedy for sleep is not
Show Joe,
chamomile.
yeah.
It's caffeine.
It's caffeine, that's right, and all
According to
sorts
the
of other
homeopathic
things. Yeah.
Medica. So that's yeah.
Just when you think you've seen it all.
Comics, that really, isn't it?
Now, I know that James, you had a few items that you wish to bring to our attention tonight.
Yeah, well, for starters, this week is actually National Chiropractic Care Week.
National Chiropractic Care Week.
Yep, so by the time you're listening to this, it's going to be over. Awesome.
Oh.
But still, you should take advantage of the fact that it's actually happening to make sure you let everybody, or at least some people around you, know what chiropractic really is. If you go to their website, they actually tend to avoid that. Their actual words about chiropractic is the underlying principle behind chiropractic is healthy spine, healthier life. No, not really. The underlying principles is more about subluxations and other woo and make-believe things. So
Wallet told us all about subluxations.
Yeah. Did she explain it properly?
So they're basically doing the usual med thing, which is by trying to educate people by keeping them deluded about what it actually is. Exactly the same thing, obfuscation, which is exactly what happened during WA, or World Homeopathy Awareness Week. So get out there, let people know what it really is, and see if you can help them out, basically, because I'm sure that's what they really want.
Do you know what the problem with subluxation actually is?
What?
Well, apparently there's a power called innate intelligence that comes down from God into the top of your head, and that flows down your spine and out to your extremities.
He's doing actions, folks, while he's talking.
And
He looks like Jesus.
if you have... It's the hair on the beard, isn't it?
Yeah.
And if there are little...
And the glasses too, I
thought. The innate energy from God doesn't get out to your extremities, and that's why you're ill.
Jo just choked on her drink. She did. She really did.
I was aiming for all along.
Chiropractor. But the thing, subluxations are actually real. They're a physiological thing, but not chiropractic ones. They're just made up.
Basically, yeah, the term they use for subluxation, what they say when they mean subluxations is not subluxations.
No, what an actual subluxation.
Oh, no, I'm shocked. You mean a quack modality has stolen a word from science?
Yeah. But also, there's some of them deny the whole theory of quactic subluxations as well. So they can't even be consistent amongst their own profession as to whether or not the basis for the profession is subluxation.
I'm shocked again.
Yeah.
Those are basically what they call mixer chiropractics, ones who tend to mix chiropractic with other forms of healing or basically just follow things that are actually just typical medicine. They're not true chiropractors, according to...
Yeah, and look, I should say also, just harping back to the beginning of the show, that the only published study on power balance was done by chiropractors at RMIT, and it was a really good study, actually.
Yes.
So
I was very surprised by that. Yeah.
There are streams of chiropractors who are not quacks. There are some that actually do tend to have an evidence-based to some degree.
Point out, though, that in Australia, all I think there are 3 different associations of chiropractors. And all of them everybody at the top of those organizations are hardcore traditional chiropractors who believe in the, what's it called? The life force that flows through the spine. Innate energy, sorry.
Innate intelligence or innate energy
or something, yeah.
Are you sure about that? Because COCA is very, very critical of all that stuff. Chiropractic and Osteopathic College of what is it? COCA. Sure. Chiropractic Osteopathic.
CAA. Chiropractors Association of Australia.
There's 3 organisations that there could be more, but I know of 3 organisations.
COCA is particularly critical of the bullshit that the 3 major ones have, and in particular, they made some very strong statements in the new code of conduct about vaccination in that regard, because most most chiropractors, although they'll deny it, are anti-vaxxers.
Anti-vax, yeah. I think, Dianne, you need one right now to stop that sneeze.
That's a big thing about chiropractic is there's 2 forms of it, seemingly.
Yeah.
You know, there's
the straights and mixers. There's also
nutters and
loonies.
Slight nutters.
So the main difficulty I have with it is that the average member of the public would not know all of this background, and you would not.
Australia pay for chiropractic.
Yes, absolutely. And if you're just going to see a chiropractor, which most people think is another form of medicine, another form of physiotherapy, or medicine, and so on. Yeah. You're completely oblivious to all of this, and you just have no idea. And even as a skeptic who's reading this stuff and learning about it, I still find there is a real difficulty in knowing if aside from when I go onto a particular chiropractor's website and I can clearly see what they're offering, and I have seen a few recently who have got nothing on there that I find suspicious, nothing that remotely makes me concerned or that rings my alarm bells. It very much looks to me like they might as well just call themselves a physio. You know, it's just not remotely anything worrying. But it's still, you have this feeling of unease of, is this just the way they're presenting themselves? What is underlying it? And I think that as a profession, if they're going to have any credibility, they have to completely cut themselves off from that
stuff. They need to have a schism. That's what they need to do.
Yeah, a reformation, may we say.
Reformation,
yes.
Yeah. A friend of mine went to a chiropractor the other day who gave him a voucher for like a half-price consultation. And he went
That's
in and
against their code of conduct, by the way.
He got it. He got a little back massagey thing. He's a rock climber, so he has a bit of back issues. I used to be a rock climber myself. I understand that. So he got his little back massage thing, and he came outside and noticed on the receptionist desk some leaflets from the AVN.
Oh. Yeah. Well, I think from what you're saying, it sounds to me like what they need is not the Reformation. They need the sack of Rome.
They do.
Do you know, I mean, I've been doing some work with a journalist on this particular issue, which is actually chiropractors and anti-vax. And when he's asked a couple of them because some of them are professional members of the AVN, and their response is, "Oh, we just subscribe to the magazine and that's all, and you shouldn't take anything from that."
What magazine?
Well, this is a good point.
Yeah, there hasn't been one for over 12 months, has there?
But in addition, I know another journalist who asked the head of the CAA Australia in an interview he did with him if his children had been vaccinated, and he would not answer the question.
Yeah, but Tony Blair did that.
Yeah, but
Also, he's a nut.
Here's one for our listeners. If any listener knows what the Green Party in Australia, the Greens, their official position on vaccination is, or Bob Brown, let us know.
We know the party's position. The party's position is pro-vaccination, but Bob Brown himself, he's read out some pro-AVN material in Hansard, I think about 6 years ago, maybe?
No, it was 1998.
98.
Further on,
So, but the party is pro-vax, right?
Bob still hasn't clarified his position personally. The party has.
And there was also the fact that there was that anti-vax book, which his name was attached to a little review that was promoting this book. So I think his position on it needs to be clarified.
Anyway, that's Australian politics,
but
folks.
the other thing is about going back to chiropractors is that they. And this has been documented somewhere. Somebody found it recently. I think it might have been Loretta actually. They have this business model where they set up things like first visit is half price, and then they give you 6 visits for 100, like however much money. That is against their code of conduct, explicitly against their code of conduct, because that's over-servicing. But many of them do it.
But it's what the entire profession was based on originally when they came up against the AMA in the 1930s or whenever it was. That whole thing of setting themselves up as almost like a salesman model rather than as a medical model was how they survived. It was how they promoted themselves. It was marketing.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I know, but it's now against their code of conduct, and they're still doing it. It's just disgusting. Like, pull your socks up.
You're saying they're unethical.
Honestly.
I mean, really? How is this possible?
Just-
is that what you're insinuating?
Pull your spines
I'm
together.
insinuating it. I'm saying it is unethical to do that, and pull your socks up. Honestly.
Well, if you do find some chiropractors who are doing that and you want to report them, Simon Perry has actually created a nice browser plugin that will automate most of the process for you.
Oh, yes.
So far it's only for Chrome. The name of the plugin is called Fish Barrel, because basically it makes reporting quacks like shooting fish in a barrel.
Fish barrel. If listeners Google fish barrel and
that's it, they should be able to find it.
Okay. Fish barrel.
The writer is Simon Perry. It's only available for Chrome at the moment, but a Firefox one is coming.
Good.
It's specifically designed for the English systems and the Australian systems. Biani Mills actually went to him and asked him to make the changes required so it would work for Australia.
There has been a lot of confusion over reporting in Australia since we went to the national registration, because it's been really hard to sort of clarify who is actually covering those issues. So
is it APRA now?
AHPRA, APRA, Australian Health Practitioner Regulation Agency.
Yeah.
Well, that can get confusing, yes.
They cover the chiropractors as well now.
Chiroquack? What?
Chiropractors.
I said chiropractors.
They cover and the proposals to regulate other CAM industries like acupuncture and so on, that would all fall under AHPRA from my understanding.
I really hate that they've got their own industries, because if they want to play medicine, they should play by the same rules as medicine.
You're really Lol. When I was a teenager, I had bad neck problems. I got the microphone, I can talk. When I was a teenager, I had bad neck problems. When I was, 15 or something, I was involved with a schoolyard fight, and I had neck damage. And at the time, when you're 15, and when I was 15, Dad took me to a chiropractor. How could I possibly know anything other than this is another medical professional who's going to help me and fix my problems? So he crunched my neck, and then it went pop, pop, pop.
I mean, most 15-year-old boys have wrist problems rather than neck problems.
Well, it depends if they're looking.
And so, of course, as a 15-year-old, I didn't know any different, but it helped at the time, but I'm sure he was just relieving a problem I had in my neck by the muscles or something like that. Well, hindsight is a wonderful thing, of course.
Did you want to say something else?
No, I believe that was it.
What's the game?
Nimrod Wiener.
What Nimrod Wiener? Eran.
Yeah.
Let's wrap up the show with a comment you have to make, which isn't about Nimrod Wiener.
Actually, there's two things. First of all, I was just browsing while talking about chiropractors here. I was looking at this psychic fair
on the 26th of June this year.
No, and you know how psychics are always the best psychic medium in Australia and all that? Now, how's this for underplaying yourself? In the 2011 Australian Psychic Directory. That's it. That's what she's...
What?
$10
gets in the psychic directory.
Florence King, that's her credit. Like, that's what she is. She's in the 2011 Australian Psychic Directory.
And she's got a cleavage.
I'm in the phone book. I'm in the 2011 white pages, yeah?
I think I dropped my business card in the gutter somewhere.
You dropped your business card in the gutter.
Yeah, anyway.
You're in the suit.
Now that we know that Florence King is in the 2011 Australian Psychic Directory, I can talk about the shirts that we sell on the Australian Skeptics website.
Oh, yes.
We have a variety of shirts. We have the Australian Skeptics unisex black shirts and a variety of colours and sizes of the V-neck ones.
They're very good. They're quite plain, but they've got
They're quite plain. They've got the little logo, the question mark logo.
Australian Skeptics, yeah.
Then we've got... These sell for $20. But we also have a lot of TAM Australia shirts.
Yes.
And SGU Down Under shirts.
Yes.
And they go for a special price of $8 now.
$8?
Yes.
That's a brain-snapping bargain.
I'm going to buy some. $8, really?
It's a cervical artery dissection.
You can get a Skeptic's Guide to the Universe T-shirt for $8.
Yes. Brown or blue.
Wow.
And all the money, I should probably point out that the
TAM... You know you're doing this discount, by the way.
I was just going to say that all the money from selling those shirts goes to the SGU.
Aren't we nice? Aren't we nice?
Something else we should mention, for those who aren't aware, is that currently on sale on the Skeptics website is we've got a pre-sale running for the TAM Australia DVD.
Woohoo!
So it's an 8-disc box set with all the footage and interviews and everything you could possibly want. For those of you who were there and those of you who weren't, you can enjoy it all. And if you buy it on the pre-sale now, you'll get it at a 10% discount on the full price. So www.skeptics.com.au.
And you can look at the shirts and the DVD. Now, we've been... Hang on. Before you go, I just want to say that Joe, Rachael, Eran, myself and Tim Mendham, who put together TAM Australia, we've all been reviewing the footage from the DVD just to tweak it and make sure it's okay. I'm blown away. The quality is so good. And I'm actually seeing presentations I completely missed on TAM because I was running around like a lunatic.
All of them?
Like all of them, yeah, except the ones I was in, I think.
I saw that one.
No, brilliant. A great DVD. Now he's going, yes.
Does the TAM Oz DVD include the swears? Because I've been trying to get swears onto this podcast for, months now.
I swore earlier, Nimrod
You did last week. Last Think Tank, you said arse.
I said arse. That's not a swear.
No, swears don't make it onto this podcast.
You see, the trouble is, if you do, I'll bleep it.
That's the thing. Does the DVD include the swears or not?
What?
Of course it doesn't.
Crikey.
Crikey.
You watch that guy, the late night show. What's his name?
Which one?
On Channel 11, Ferguson.
Craig Ferguson.
He's funny.
Yeah.
He's a good guy. Crikey.
Crikey.
There we go.
Jeez, mate. Falling apart.
Thank you, Eran. Thank you for that information. Buy your shirts and your DVDs at the Skeptics website, www.skeptics.com.au. Eran, thank you for coming along to the Think Tank tonight.
Thank you very much, Richard. It's been a pleasure being here.
And the vision in white is Dianne. Thank you for being here tonight, Dianne.
No problem, Richard.
And thank you for doing that.
She has a voice.
She does. But listeners know her voice because she's the one who says that in Dutch that people should visit the Skeptic Zone website. That's an ad I play occasionally.
Yes, Richard.
She's gone red. I love it. She's gone red. Joe, thank you.
Thank you, Richard. Nice to be back again.
Yes, it is, Dr. Rachael.
Thank you, Richard. I forgot to get out my apps, didn't I? With noises.
Oh, your funny laughing and things. You got your iPad in front of you, but
Yes,
never
we
mind.
haven't had Maynard this week to make funny noises.
That's right.
Yeah.
Oh, well, maybe next time. Jason?
Thanks for the beers, Richard. Or, in fact, our benefactor, Eric.
Yes, thank you, Eric.
James.
Nimrod Weiner.
And until the next think tank, which I hope will be half as good as this one, cheers.
Cheers. No busting out, so.
Cheers.
Hey guys, this is Jay from the Skeptic's Guide to the Universe. And whoa, hold on, whoa! Everybody knows I'm the only reason to listen to the freaking show, right? I mean, if it was up to me, the show would start with this. Yeah, boy! Well, Rebecca would hate that, probably, but I mean, I'd rock that. Listen to our show and you can learn about cool stuff like a technological singularity, which is someday when technology progresses so fast that it would make the Industrial Revolution look like a kid's science project. Anyway, come check us out at www.theskepticsguide.org and get your science on!
Thank you for listening to the Skeptic Zone. Mind, body, wallet, what would we do without you? I'd be a lot saner, I think, without you, mind, body, wallet. I think we keep saying this, but and we keep trying, but we really have to get someone from the ACCC, or the Australian Consumer and Competition Commission, or is it the Australian Competition Consumer Commission, whatever, along to Mind, Body, Wallet to show the number of outrageous claims being made at this so-called alternative fare. Yeah, that really should be done. On next week's show, more of Maynard. We've missed him this week. He's back next week with some interviews and other things. And don't forget that Dr. Rachael and myself will be appearing this year at the amazing meeting in Las Vegas. If you haven't got your tickets yet, don't hesitate. Don't hesitate. Randy says they're selling out fast. I'm sure they are. And if you do come to TAM 9, I think they're calling it TAM 9 from Outer Space, in Las Vegas this year, please come up and say hello. I would be delighted to meet you. And Dr. H.E. would too. We're sort of hoping that some more people from the Skeptic Zone can be there. It's, well, you know, to be frank, it just boils down to the fact that the airfares are not cheap right now to get to Las Vegas. Nevertheless, some of us will be there to have some fun and to say hello to you. But for now, for this week at least, this is Richard Saunders signing off from Sydney, Australia.
You've been listening to the Skeptic Zone. Visit our website at www.skepticzone.tv for comments, contacts, and extra video reports.